Hello, 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 everybody. Hello, hello. Yes, yes, Brainthwaite offer. We will get going right away. We will get going right away. Yeah, yep. Rejection. Yes, it will be rejected. It will be rejected, or has, but it will absolutely be rejected. That bid will not be accepted. That bid will not be accepted. That I can tell you for sure. I see Ornstein's tweeted now as well since I scheduled this, but yeah, that bid will that bid will absolutely, unfortunately, be rejected. It will be rejected and not moved forward. But I do want to talk about all this because I think there's a few things worth mentioning on this whole process, and I want to cover it and explain a few things. So, number one, number one, thank you all for being here as well. I have a few minutes right now, about 15, 20 minutes. I wanted to do a quick live instead of a 1 hour one. I'm going to do podcast with Phil tomorrow. I'm going to do a live on Wednesday, video on another day. Well, actually, live maybe Wednesday I might not be able to. Actually, it's my wife's birthday, so maybe not on Wednesday, but we'll see. It might be in the afternoon. Thursday, Friday, etc. We will move on. We'll be doing a lot. And I wanted to mention, because a lot of times in my lives, people ask me why I don't have memberships, things like that. I have turned memberships back on. You get a cool little badge that upgrades month after month. You get little emojis to use and all of that, because I think people were asking for it. So it's there. You can join and become a member on YouTube. And thanks for people who were asking to do that. But let's see here. So on this whole situation, last week I did a video on United's kind of PSR situation. And basically the understanding that I had is that United would be able to do something in the range of 75 million, and then beyond that, they would likely need sales. Now, one of the things I put on a video and in a Discord last week, this is at least from United's perspective, was that this was actually before July 1st. Brainthwaite's still a deal viable if United put in a bigger offer. Wouldn't necessarily need to be as high as 70 million to get done. United attempted to horse trade a bit with Lindelof and others that Everton and players weren't interested in. They have continued to maintain they cannot go higher right now. We will see how this changes. Brainthwaite bid rejected. It is rejected. Yeah, straight rejected. It has officially been rejected now. It has officially been rejected now. That's what I just got. So Brainthwaite bid has officially just been rejected as well. Not just not to be accepted, it's rejected. It's done. One second, the Bobbles tweeted it. Cool. Sorry, it's just going quick. Going quick. Yeah, straight rejected. There you go. Sorry. So that was fast. That was a fast one. That was fast. There, you just got like a live stream of getting information and things being rejected. So there you go. That was a live stream of the chaos of a bid and info and rejection and all of that. Wow, crazy time. Sorry, very distracted by all of this. But that's why I wanted to, to share all of this. Good stuff. So anyway, United needed to sell more in order to get further bids in. They needed to sell more to get further purchases, things like that, in terms of what they wanted to do. There's still potentially a view that they would sell for less than 70, and I think that would still be the case, but it needs to be a bit more. They're going to need to go to 55 million on that base fee, most likely, at a minimum. I'm not sure how that first bid went over with Everton in terms of how the relationship is now. Yeah, so we will see. There this point. I don't, if Everton don't engage in talks now following this kind of bid, if they don't get into it, then I think United will walk away. Now, the other aspect to this is it is separate to Matthias de Ligt. It is separate to Joshua Zirkzee. And it... yeah, it's separate to Matthias de Ligt. It's separate to Joshua Zirkzee. So if this isn't happening, any news on whether Gerrard wants to move? He absolutely does. He absolutely does. He wants to move, but he's not gonna throw a fit about it for sure. It's separate to all of those. So with the sale of Mason Greenwood lining up, which is 25 to 30 million, in that range, United will receive about 20 to 25 million in profit, it looks like. That allows for another purchase. So if they don't value Brainthwaite to the point where they want to offer 55 plus add-ons or something like that, then they'll move on now. Then I would say going for the midfield would be the move, next. Would say take that money, take the budget, take what we've got, and let's make an offer in the midfield. Let's make an offer in the midfield. Let's get, a Ugarte there. If they want Onana, they could go for Onana, but with how things are with Everton, I feel like they're going to ask for 70 million there too. But that's what I would do. Is move on from that. At this point in time. Oops, hit the wrong button. That's what I would do there, is move on at this point if they're not engaging. I really want Brainthwaite. I do. I really, really do want Brainthwaite. However, if they don't value him, like this is I'm sorry I'm distracted, but you got this. That was kind of cool. I've never actually done while live streaming, had the chaos of that going in and getting a message and putting things out. Anyway, that was fun. I'm very distracted now. Let me calm my thoughts for a moment. One of the things I don't want United to do is to bid more than they value players for. It's not so much about what they can afford, what a player's worth, but it's about what United value them for. The mistakes that we've made in the past have come from United bidding and paying well above what they value a player at. So when they look at Antony and they say he's a 30 million player and they pay 80, that's a huge problem. I don't want you to do that. When you look at Højlund, for example, and you value him at 40, you pay 75, we can't keep doing that, even if he's a good player. Stuart Coker, thank you for Pro Muppet, whatever. I got to change the name. But anyway, thanks, Stuart. See, you get a little badge. You get some emojis. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining The Muppeteers membership. Appreciate that very much. There you go. Look at that. Now you have green. You got a little badge. How cool. Anyway, you don't want to overpay, because you look at it and you got to trust your people, right? You got to trust your people at a certain point and say, what we value them at is what we're going to pay. Because that's how you run the risk of paying too much and wasting money, is when you don't listen to your people and you just go ahead. I'm a fan of paying the price of players and not spending too long on negotiations. I don't know how you become a member. There's a button to become one. I've actually never done it before. But I'm a fan of being quick with negotiations. I'm a fan of not trying to drive the price down. But I think the point is, if you look at a player and you value them at 40 million, right next to the subscribe button, if you value them at 40 million and the club is asking for 70, well, you could try a deal near their valuation, because they have every right to ask for, but you don't want to pay that if you value them at 40. Maybe you stretch a little bit, and that would be about it. Must have been Chowdhury. Thank you for the donation. You didn't send a message if you meant to say anything, but thank you. But anyway, I would say that's where I would look at it and say, I don't want them to go over. Now, if I believe they value Brainthwaite around 50. And so 55 is a stretch. If it'll be accepted, that would be great. But it's not looking good at the moment, even at that price. Now, because I think part of it is you're looking at 45 plus 5. 50 United, welcome. Thank you for the membership. At 45 plus 5, if you go to 55, that's 10 million more on the base fee. But if you add add-ons, it might be 15 million more. But it's a lot. It's a lot. It is a lot. You can't find it. I don't know if you're on mobile or something. Maybe it's in a different spot. But yeah, when you have the membership type and 50's in Discord as well, and in our Patreon. So it's just giving me more money for free. Thank you. So it's complicated now. I don't actually quite rightly know what's going to happen. They still want a deal. They still feel like they could get a deal. But, I think they would need a big, more significant offer to get the discussion. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I would say. They need a more significant offer to really open things up better than that. But are they prepared to do that? Do they want to do that? Do they have the feeling of paying that kind of value? If 55 million plus 5 to 10 million was the deal that needed to be done, do they value him at that? I'm not sure. Halftime oranges, if we weren't getting Delit, I'd be worried about walking away. But as long as we get one CB this summer, then I'm happy to walk away instead of overpaying. And that's not wrong. Not wrong. Sun Tzu, any word on whether Ferdi Kadioglu, did I pronounce that right? Ferdi Kadioglu bid is valid. I do not know at this stage, but that is a very good Turkish source. Stuart, could they not try and hijack Arsenal bid for Bologna defender? If they like him, but I'm not sure that they do. I'm not sure that they do at this point. I'm not sure. That we don't know. In terms of the alternatives, we obviously have the other names, potentially, that we've discussed before. But I wouldn't be surprised if they keep then Maguire, Lindelof, Lissandro, Delit, and spend the money on the midfield and then come back later in the club. Come back later in the window. But yeah, 55. Anyway, I think that they'll need to go higher to open to I don't think that the first bid went over well. That's all I would say. I just don't think it has. But it has been rejected already. In terms of the names, Guehi, Euro is gone. Guehi is going to be 60 million too. I don't think we value him at that. And he doesn't provide what Brainthwaite provides. If you're buying Delit, I don't think you need Guehi. I would get him as an alternative, but I wouldn't get both. He's not taller, faster, good in the air. He's missing he's pretty quick, but he's missing those traits that Brainthwaite brings to the table, the two-footedness. He's not That's my opinion, but he's not different enough to, he's not different enough, and that's what I would say. He's not different enough to delete to get that. If Everton are still saying, look, we're not even going to engage in talks after this being rejected, then it is what it is. Then I think United will look at it and say, okay, well, for now we're going to walk away from this discussion, unless they have one more up their sleeve and they think that Everton will engage, in which case they would go for that 55 plus. But I think it's above what they value it. I mean, maybe they'll go 55 flat as the absolute highest, but that would be tough. I really think that would be tough to do. I don't feel like they want to do that necessarily. So yeah, in terms of that deal is still ongoing. At this point in time, I shared it in the video earlier today. Make sure you watch that. Make sure you watch the structure video. Please watch that as well, because people say it's a really good explanation, and I think it is. I think it will help a lot to understand who's doing what. But with Delit, they're in talks still with Bayern, and it's likely going to be over the nature of those add-ons. 42. The price is a lot closer. They want 50 million euros plus add-ons. We want 42 million euros plus add-ons. So it's 10 off on the base fee. But if we can get better add-on structure, if we can reach some agreement on add-on structure, then I think that'll be okay. And I think that'll work out. Ignacio will be expensive. He'll be close to that same price, But yeah, I think that in the range of, I think what we're looking for, if you can gather it, is we don't want to spend more than like 40 million pounds on players. And with Brainthwaite, we've stretched it a little bit, right? But yeah, it's progressing, and they're talking on Delit and getting that agreement. And I think that it's just over the nature of the add-ons now, and they will agree at around 50 million euros total, but with a lower base and add-ons in there. If we're putting 10 million Ballon d'Or clause, that doesn't work. If it's 5 million for 60 appearances and 5 million for 20 Champions League appearances, that probably will get closer. So they've been talking about that today, and I think that will get done pretty soon. That and Xerxes look like they're about finished. But that has been ongoing, and I shared that this morning. Oh, so it's already being confirmed. Well, there you go. So it looks like we had it. Looks like we had it right, because that on this morning I shared that's what they were discussing, getting closer to. That's awesome. This is good. I mean, a lot of stuff happening. If they can wrap up the Delit and the Xerxes one now, that makes a big difference. That's like our budget. Then you take that Greenwood money, 20 million in profit, and what can you do? Yeah, maybe they'll accept 50 million flat euros or something, but they were aiming for 40 million plus 10 or so. So we'll see what the nature of the makeup of that deal is. But I don't think we're going to do 50 million euros plus add-ons. But this is close. This is good. I mean, this is all good news to me. Delit at a good price. No, 43 is about 50 million euros, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's 42. It depends on the exchange rate that day. But 43, 40, something in that range, 40 million for Delit, 33 million, 34 million for Xerxes, 75 million pounds for 2 starters, or 2 good top-level players in there. Obviously, Xerxes could rotate with Højlund. Top targets, good targets. Then we have the Greenwood money, and now we say, where do we spend the Greenwood money if Greenwood is getting sold? And that looks like it's close. As I shared this morning as well, we spoke, there were direct talks between Marseille. Which one is correct, Marseille or Marseille? Now I'm getting confused again because people correct me and then I forget. Anyway, there was direct talks between them and United. Marseille, okay. Marseille, good. Right, it wasn't Marseille, it's Marseille. Okay, good. So there were direct talks between Marseille and United over Greenwood over the last few days, starting last week. They were discussing a few different proposals. He's prioritizing them. That one looks like it's being wrapped up now. I'm thinking of Versailles. Marseille. Cool. So that looks to be progressing. That type of money is going to be very, very significant in terms of, where we are going. Yeah. I would hope that after I know somebody in that meeting was just like, Wheeler, here you go. Here's all the fucking, here's everything. Here's everything, here's the minutes from our meeting today. No, but I think what happens is United get active and they start contacting agents and representatives and things, and then stuff starts leaking. But they're obviously moving fast on all of this. I would say that, what would I say as well? Yeah, I hope they move on to midfield here, because in the midfield, Ugarte is a big target. He's available. He's of interest. And we need it, even if we don't sell Casemiro. I'm not saying we won't, but even if we don't, we need it. We shouldn't sign Amrabat just because he's 15 million euros. We should sign Ugarte. We need another 6 anyway. We have no coverage there. We have nobody who plays in that position beyond Casemiro, who had a really tough season. We need him. We need to bring him in. He's interested. There's been talks. I don't see anyone else being close at the moment. That's the closest one. I think in this article, by the way, he is also named. Hold on. I think that I've been saying for quite a bit, he is a top target for midfield. But hold on, because I'm pretty positive I read in Wheeler's as well that he did say the same thing too. Let me go to the bottom. There it is. Where the No, it was in the other article. The club's other priority positions in the summer window is a defensive midfielder with Manuel Ugarte of Paris Saint-Germain, high on the list of targets. They will have to sell players to comply with profit and sustainability rules. So that's what I'm saying, is that if they have the money from the sale of Greenwood to make this bid for Brainthwaite, they can get Ugarte. And he's the only name that's being named right now in the midfield. Okay, and that's why I'm saying that is still, at this moment, the only name in the midfield. And so these are the names I'm still focused on right now. Obviously, there could be more, but that's the ones that have had targets that have been in discussion, all of that. So yeah, it's cooking right now. It's cooking. It's going well. Yeah, he really did. So it seems like we're still on it. I put out that kind of summary video, went over it last week. It's all going according to plan. If we were to bring in Brainthwaite, we would also then sell Maguire or Lindelof, and that would allow us to spend in the midfield. If we use the Greenwood money on the center back, we could sell a center back to fund the midfield. So fortunately, we're getting these sales lined up. It's busy. I mean, look, some of it's a bit chaotic, right? But we have 2 deals on the cusp of being completed. They're trying on Brainthwaite. They've already progressed on Ugarte. That's good. I mean, that's a good summer if they work this all out. And then if they need to sit on Maguire, Lindelof, De Ligt, and Lissandro for a season, and then go next year and leave themselves some financial room, fine. I'm actually really okay with it. We're not trying to win everything this year. And I'm not trying to lower the bar on this, but I'm saying let's make sure we get the right players in. Let's make sure. I don't want them to go spend 50 to 60 on someone they don't rate that much, on a backup, on another alternative, and cut down their space next season, at center back. Because I think Maguire can do a good job as a backup. He's done a good job for United. He was good last year. I'd like to see Willy Wallace still get minutes. I'd like to see him still develop. I'd like to see him in cup games. So let's be smart. Let's use our funds. Maybe that means we spend the money on that backup left back. Maybe we go for Kirkus and we actually spend the money there. Or we move for Ferdi Kadioglu. maybe we do that and spend 30, 40 million there instead of overspending on a backup center back, you know? You're a weird person. So, you know, maybe we do that. And that's where we go. So that's what I would like to see. I would like to see us not waste that money there. Let's go to the midfield after, if we don't get Brainthwaite, if they're not going to accept it around, if we can't get a deal done at our value or at an interesting offer or an interesting value or a workable one, let's move on to the midfield and get something done there. And then if we have extra money then from selling Casemiro or McTominay, let's move to the left back. Let's get as much good options done. I think we could have Maguire, Lindelof, Kumbuala, and Evans as backups. I think they're better than they're getting credit for. Maguire's a good back. Maguire as a third center back would be one of the best third center backs in the league. Prove me wrong. Tell me who's better. You know, give me better options at third center back. We need to be healthy. That's one of the things. We have to be healthy, right? We have to be healthy. Maguire plays on the left too, by the way. I would want to. Obviously, I would ideally want to. There's no doubt about that. But we've got a lot of backups. So City, right? City have a better backup probably in Akanji, as kind of expected, right? Man City have the insane squad, but in terms of other options, you know, that's not bad. If we did get De Ligt and Brainthwaite, who would start? Whoever's performing better. Maybe mix it up, you know? Brainthwaite and De Ligt and Lissandro, you know, Lissandro and Brainthwaite. There's a lot of ways to do it. I disagree about Spurs and Liverpool and them having better third options. I don't really rate some of their third options, you know, in there. Maybe in the future, but Maguire was really good last year, and he can be really good. And if he doesn't have to play that much and he stays healthy, that's great. One of the things is we obviously have to stay healthy, though. I mean, there's no doubt about that. We've got to stay healthy. But anyway, just wanted to cover this. This was pretty fun to kind of do this, and I'll try to do this. I'll try to go live like when things are breaking and I'm getting stories and shit like that, because it's fun to go over things. But yes, rejected. If they don't engage further, then I think United will walk away. Could we see Licha and Brainthwaite 3 in a build-up? Sure. Yeah. Licha, De Ligt, and Brainthwaite in a 3, yes. Let me talk about Sancho really quick, because I did mention that on the video as well. He was due to report, whether today or next week, it doesn't really matter to me. He is due to report at some point here to training, but I'm not sure that he will. There's still discussions ongoing about what to do with him. It's not 100% that he departs, but it's still most likely that he will. I think in an ideal world, what happens is they delay his return. He gets close to a transfer, kind of like Greenwood, and they say he's away, close to a deal, and then they can send him on. You know, that's what I think is the more likely outcome. That's what I think they want. And so, you know, that would help free up funds too. But let's see, because now it's key. Now this is really interesting. Xerxes and De Ligt almost done, or virtually finished. Sale of Greenwood allows us to move forward. If we're not going to get Brainthwaite, can we put those funds to the midfielder, and does Ugarte now pick up? Even though it's still going to take a little bit because he's busy with the Copa, but one more week for that, right? I'm really impressed with Ugarte, winning penalty, great mentality, played as almost a third center back after Uruguay went down to 10 and for much of the second half. Flexible. He's a lot different than I see people talking about him. No injuries like ever in his career. It's that sporting juice where they just don't get injured, right? But yeah, I'd like to see something move on that. I'm not sure that Onana becomes viable suddenly because things are a bit weird with Everton. But yes, Ugarte seems like the right guy for so many reasons. I would like to see it. But okay, there we go. Let's leave it at that. I'm going to do the podcast with Phil tomorrow and then a lot more through the week. It's going to be busy now. As a reminder, a couple people joined in as members. People were asking about it before. You can join as a member. It's cheap. Next to the subscribe button, you get a little badge and colors and emojis, and I appreciate it. If you're looking for a way to support that as a way that you can. So thank you all for watching this today. I'm going to end it. I'm going to make the little daily roundup video as well in a minute, which is going to be busy. And I will see you all later. Interesting times, but A lot of positives for United. There you go. You get the Bruno tipping his hat. Let's go. Yes. So, yeah, we'll I think Phil will be a little happier, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you all for watching.